Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick walkthrough of these building permit application drawings just to give you a better understanding of what the drawings show and just to kind of help guide you through them. So obviously they say draft. I'll clearly take that off when it comes time to do the application. So no worries there. Also it needs the stamp, so other than that, maybe a few notes. I'll give it one more pass, but I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough. So the stuff on the right here, this is more for the building department, so don't worry about that too much. What we're interested in here is the site plan. So this basically just shows the two areas of work, a window back here and a window here. Now in my email I did say there's an issue with this window. And the reason is that because there's really only, it's just over 4 feet here. Let me zoom out here 1 second. There we go. So because the distance between you and your neighbors it's really just over 4 feet, and we don't have a survey, so I can't tell exactly where the property line is. So I'm assuming it's just right in the middle of these two houses. So this is your house here, and this is your neighbor's house. So I'm assuming that property line is basically right down the middle, but that leaves, basically 2 feet or so between your house and the property line. With the building code, there's a limiting distance of 1.2 meters between you and the next building face, or the property line, I should say, not the building face. So that distance there needs to be 1.2 meters for you to be able to put in windows, and that's to limit the basically the spread of fire from one building to the next. So we're roughly half that. We're like 0.63 meters, something like that. So it's really, unfortunately, not even that close for a traditional window, that is. So I mean, we still could put a window in here. Same size and everything as we've had shown, and as what is shown in your quote from the contractor. However, there would be some additional things. We either have to do a fire rated window with a 1 hour fire rating, so that basically it just won't break right away if there's a fire, and it'll save this neighbor's building. Or we can do a fire shutter over the door, and that's basically a mechanism that will activate and trigger if there is a fire, and kind of roll down then and cover the windows to prevent that flame spread again. So it's not to say we can't do a window there. There's just a couple things we'd have to do. Now those are obviously going to be a little more expensive. I don't know how much a fire rated window or a fire shutter are. I'm assuming they're probably not cheap, to be honest. So the additional cost of that, I don't know. It depends on how badly you want that window. You'll have to talk to the contractor and see what that additional cost will be, because I mean, if it's going to be thousands of dollars, I don't know if it's worth putting a window in there. And then it might just be a matter of doing this one window up at the front instead. So anyway, I just wanted to sort of highlight that and explain that a little bit. So it's not that we can't put one in, because we can. It just might be a little more expensive than anticipated to get that fire rating, just to satisfy all the building code requirements. So that's unfortunate, but other than that, everything else looks totally fine. There was no issues anywhere else. So I'll just go through the next page here. So this shows your existing condition. Also, again, doubles as a demolition plan, so you have cutting out a chunk of the foundation wall there, also a chunk there. I did highlight the fact that you might need to move a little bit of ductwork running up at the ceiling there. If it's interfering, it kind of runs across here. So if you're finding that's interfering with the window, you might just have to reroute it, up here or elsewhere. Maybe it's up here and down to the furnace, something like that. Not a big deal, so that should be fairly easy. So the main portion we're highlighting for the building department here is that it's really only those two little areas for the proposed work. So then this one is the proposed floor plan showing the new windows in place. This one has the window well in front. We'll get into a little more detail on that. These show the interior elevations then. So this is number 3. So that's looking this way, is this one here. And then number 4 is looking at your front wall there. And and that shows then the rough height that the sills would be off the floor. So for your front window, the bottom of the window will be about 4'3" off of your floor, give or take. And then for the window at the back on the side there, if you choose to go ahead with it, that one will be about 5 feet off the floor, give or take. And then I've shown sort of a plus or minus on either side, so you can sort of center them as you need, and then it makes sense to do the cuts in the foundation on the mortar lines there, if possible. You will need a lintel then above both. Those are sized on that first page. What else do we have here? Next page just shows a couple more details then. So this is if you're cutting through that front wall and the window well. This is basically what you get. So you have basically a 7-foot ceiling. You'll have that window sill at about 4'3" off the floor. Nice big window, and then this is your window well there, and some drainage just to get the water and stuff out of there with some gravel and whatnot. So pretty basic, but that should really let a lot of light into the basement, which would be great. And then this is that rear window on the side. So the problem here is, again, like the property line is roughly there, and this space, we need another couple feet basically in order to allow just a traditional window by building code standards. So I mean the shutter would be about there, and again, if that were activated due to fire, that would sort of roll down and protect it, the neighbor's building from fire spreading out through that window. Or again, we could do a fire rated window, but that could be pretty costly again. So moving on here, these are the last couple drawings. So this is the elevations. This is what the front of the house will look like once that window and window well is in. So you can see the window well there. It has to go up about 6 inches above grade, but I mean it's in the garden, so you'll hardly notice. And then you have the window right there. It's about, tough to read right here, it's about 3'7", give or take, off the side of the wall, and 42 inches side to side. So it's a nice size window. And then so the side of the house, this is the one that's in question then, this window here. Whether or not you want to proceed with it, I could just take this right out if it turns out that it's too expensive, but initially I thought it might have been a matter of the percentage glazing on this side. As you can see up in this corner here, let me just move that up a little bit. If you were 1.2 meters away from the property line, this would be totally fine. We'd be given the nature of everything, we had to be under 7% of this side of the building can be windows. So given that that size and the existing windows, we'd actually be under that, but the problem is we're just too close again to that property line. So it's not a matter of the size of the window, it's really just a matter of being too close to that property line for that window. So again, we can discuss that and figure out how you want to proceed from there. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly walk you through those. Again, when it comes time to apply for the permit, I'll take the draft off and put the architectural stamp in there and make any of those last final changes, and we'll be good to go. So hopefully that helps, and we'll talk shortly. Thanks. Bye.